backbone unami Nyala Sengathi ngitshola negroupie Ufuna backbone unami Nyala Izinja zempilo wami Umuntu otiti Angazi mina ngizoyithini le ndaba Angazi mina ngizoyithini le ndaba Ihamba nenhlokotela Ihamba nodokotela Ama-superstar opastel Angithi ngihamba nenhlokotela Ihamba nodokotela Ama-superstar opastel Angazi mina ngizoyithini le ndaba Angazi mina ngizoyithini le ndaba Izinja zempilo mama Ama-Elisa Ufuna ukuhlala nama-Elisa Relax amusupenika Sama yomuthi Ama-Elisa Ufuna ukuhlala nama-Elisa Relax amusupenika Sama yomuthi Angazi mina ngizoyithini le ndaba
Welcome, people.
want like any girl again for this life. I don't want like any girl. I want your thing like this. Machala, I want your thing big girl like this. Yo, X.
Fresh and clean, me looking, say you notify. Man, who send nobody, I can live my life. If you're not talking money, no go on my line. The man just one day happy, man, one day alright.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Faith, I can see you. I can see. I can see you dancing, Faith. Nice one. Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Sunday. It's so nice to have us all in here. So you're welcome. You're welcome. I see us all in. We are still expecting more people to join us, right? So we are still going to have more people, right, to join us for this amazing session. So nice to see all of us, to see everyone in here. Good afternoon. You're welcome once again. This is Cybersecurity, brought to you from Executive Wellbeing Initiative, right? We look forward to an amazing and a very, very impactful session this Sunday afternoon. It's so nice to see everyone in here. So right before we just go ahead and start, we'd like to acknowledge God, right? We'd like to have an opening prayer, which is going to be done by Bolariwa. So Bolariwa, can you please pray with the opening prayer for us? Thank you. Bolariwa, opening prayer.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this session. Let's bow our heads in prayer. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
In the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Father, Lord, we want to thank you for today. Thank you for your grace and mercy upon our lives. Thank you, Lord, for bringing us all together for this session. Lord, as we come to gain skills and network with each other, Lord, we want to pray that I shall make this a very productive session for us in Jesus' name. Lord, we want to pray that the intent of this session would be the impact of this session will be great in the life of everyone who has joined here in Jesus' name. Lord, we want to thank you for the organization that has organized this, the Executives Helping Initiative organization, as well as the Anti-Suicides and Depression Squad organization. Lord, we want to pray that you shall continually bless these organizations and help them to do more and add value to society in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Thank you, Father. Thank you, Lord, for just my prayer. Amen.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Bolu. That was amazing. Thank you. So welcome everybody once again. So before we go to the next thing we have on the schedule, I'd just like to hear from a few of us what you are expecting, what's your expectation like for this session. So Faith, I'm coming to you. I can see you vibing and dancing earlier on. So I'm calling you up right now. So Faith, tell us, what's your expectation? Faith, where are you? Come and show us your face or your voice now. Apart from the dancing person that we know you are. So come and show us. What's your expectation for this session, Faith? Faith Olago, okay, you're the one who, yeah, come and talk. What's your expectation like?
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. I was trying to unmute.
Tell us, what's your expectation for this session? Like, what are you looking forward to?
Okay, I'm looking forward to networking with people, learning more, because I actually just transitioned into tech, cybersecurity. So I'm looking towards learning a whole lot of things that I probably do not know or haven't heard about. And basically networking, trying to meet people in this space with like mind and to grow in a community, basically. Thank you.
Nice. That's amazing, Faith. So you're in the right place. I can assure you of that. You're in the right place. It's so nice to have you in here. So thank you for joining us, Faith. So I'm just going to be calling on another person right now. Just let us know what's your expectation like for this session. So I'll be calling on Esther. Esther Yusuf, can you please tell us what your expectation is like for this session? We have a lot of tech bro and tech sis in here. So please, Esther, over to you. What's your expectation like for this session? Esther, please unmute. Yes, go ahead. Okay, if Esther is not ready, I'm just going to call another person since Esther is not yet ready. Esther, anytime you're ready, you can also chat, put it in the chat room, right? If that's what you're comfortable with. If you know you can't talk where you are, you can also put it in the chat room so that we can read it from there. So Aziz, welcome once again. Aziz Olajide, yes. So what's your expectation for this session like, Aziz? Aziz, we are waiting for you. All right.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
It's my pleasure to be in this section this afternoon, and it's a privilege. As a beginner and somebody that wants to have in-depth of cybersecurity and tech, I believe that with this section, I will have an in-depth and deep understanding of cybersecurity with the little idea I have as a physical security operatives. I think this will go a long way if I have the knowledge of cybersecurity as a skills added to what I have on ground. And more so, I would like to, I don't know for the organization, if for the organizers, sorry, if you can do me a favor by sending any manual or recordings that's going forward, I will be able to be going through it so that it will be a kind of reminding or refreshing my memory on this particular topic. I am very, very happy. I am expecting a very high expectations on this particular cybersecurity training section today. Thank you all. It's my pleasure to be here this afternoon once more. I am very grateful and I am honored.
Thank you, Aziz. I can actually feel from everything you said that you actually mean business. You're really here to learn. The way you kept on saying deep, a lot of things and things like that. So yes, we're also ready for you, by the way. So yeah, you're in the right place once again, Aziz. So one more person, I can see your chat. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. So one more person before we go right ahead to the session. So I would like to call on Miracle. Miracle, over to you. What's your expectation like for this session? Miracle. Let me unmute you. Yeah, please go ahead, Miracle. You can now unmute, Miracle. Yeah. Miracle, you can go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Well, I might not have as much information on this topic as much as possible, but I hope to learn. I am looking forward to learn and get as much information as possible so that I can use it on my way forward. So I'm glad to be here, really.
Nice. We are also honored to have you now, Miss Miracle. Thank you once again for joining us. So welcome everybody once again. More people are still joining in, right? So we just quickly go right into what we have next in our schedule, which is to tell you about EHI, what we stand for, and also what we do. So I'll be calling on Mr. Dari Asobele to take us through that. So Dari, over to you. Thank you.
Hello everyone, good afternoon, how you're doing? So my name is Dara Asobele. I'm the founder of Executives Open Initiative. So Executives Open Initiative is a non-for-profit based in Lagos, Nigeria. And we focus mainly on youth empowerment. So most of our youth are most of our volunteers are youth basically. Aside from that, we've been around for 9 years. We focus on going to motherless baby homes, orphanages, helping kids out. We've also been able to go to so many communities and giving free medical care, as well as providing clothes as well. And over the years, we've focused our energy on going to the prison at Kirikiri, giving them drugs, feeding them, showing them love, because they themselves are humans too. And we're very, very passionate about cancer, sickle cell, and mental health, and also advocating for other humanitarian causes, basically. So our major goal is just to be like a leading voice in causing changes in humanitarian activities, as well as all these the 17 SDG goals, basically. as well. So aside from that, we have a volunteering system, which I think the link will be dropped. Follow us on our social media page, where people come and volunteer with us from all over the world. So we have volunteers from all over the world. You can volunteer with us for 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, if you are interested in that. And you get a reference letter. Most people are jackpot, people want to leave the country, but we also are very, very passionate about people doing the work. So if you know you're not someone that is serious, as you can see, volunteers are the ones organizing this. Do not bother volunteering, right? But if you know you're really passionate about making a difference, please sign up via the link on our social media platform. Volunteers have to give a minimum of 2 hours every day from Monday to Friday. So that's 10 hours a week towards trying to make impact. Aside from that, we have an event coming up called the Charity 2022, where we're going to be going to the prison, advocating for bad governance, or rather for good governance, and also seeing what we can do for the Ebola community, and also fundraiser for cancer, sickness, and mental health. So we're hoping that you guys will also get to learn. This is our final edition. So this is the 4th edition this year, because for the last 4 months, we've been having self-developmental series because our volunteers give a lot to the organization, their time, their data, their resources. And so what we decided to do is to invest in our volunteers. So I know you're not volunteering with us, but we also decided to have series of topics and we have the recording. So yes, please, a feedback form will be filled. So those of us that fill that feedback form will get access to this recording. Also, we are currently live on YouTube as well. So yeah, that's just about it. Enjoy the session and yeah, let's learn.
Yeah, thank you very much, Larry. So I like that word, let's learn, let's learn, let's learn. So I remember one of the things Faith talked about, and even as Sis also mentioned earlier on, there are some of the things that Larry also emphasized on, the fact that we are all here to learn, right? And I'm also very hopeful that everything we are going to learn here today, we are also going to act on it. Learning without acting is extremely futile, more or less like you wasted your time, you've also wasted your data. So we are hopeful that we all get to practice and also act on a whole lot of things we are going to learn here today. So to go right in, I would just like to introduce our facilitator for the day. Yeah, she's already here with us. So I'm just going to go right and read our profile so that we can officially welcome her to go right ahead into this session. So her name is Febishola Olaonipekun. Febishola Olaonipekun. So I'm reading her profile right away. Febishola comes from a non-IT background, and she has leveraged on various learning opportunities to keep evolving as a cybersecurity professional. Her experience spans across different domains in cybersecurity. She has worked with clients across financial institutions, aviation, insurance, energy, education, health industry in Nigeria, Ghana, and also Ireland. She's currently an application security consultant with Nike. I'm proud to that Febishola worked with the Cyber Risk Division of Deloitte Ireland. Febishola has a BSc in Economics from Achievers University here in Nigeria, and she holds a higher diploma in computing from the National College of Ireland, amongst other security certifications. Febishola has CISM, CCSK, CompTIA Sec Plus, and a couple of other security certifications. Febishola, look at you, I'm telling you right now. So everybody, can we just celebrate and welcome Febishola while she comes here? Febishola, I see you. Where are you? Let us see your face first. Febishola, you're welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. I see you smiling, you're blushing, right?
Yeah. I'm like, scam, now maybe this.
You're a star now, you're a star.
Oh, well.
Welcome, Febishola. It's so nice to have you here. So
It's nice to be here as well.
For honoring this our invite, right? We all look forward to this session. And just like everybody has mentioned earlier on, we look forward to the value we're going to get from this session itself. So officially welcome over to you, Febishola. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Adibanke. So hi everyone. I love that. I love what EHI is doing. Absolutely commit back, like I love volunteering as well. I feel like there's just a lot more to life than just looking out for yourself alone, and you don't have to do everything for money. Do things like make impact within your environment around you and see how you can make lives or help lives better. Get your books and pen. Yeah, get it. I mean, all right, so I'll just dive right in. Give me one split second. it's right to say that so I've been given 40 minutes to have this discussion. I'm just going to share my screen. Can everyone see my screen okay? Okay. Can everyone see my screen okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. So welcome again to the cybersecurity session. I'm excited to take this because as you progress in career, you realize that going back to the foundations of fundamentals as well is also something good to refresh the memory sometimes. So yeah, this is the cybersecurity session. From what I've been assigned to take on, we're going to discuss on the basics of cybersecurity, leveraging on cybersecurity as a career path. Yeah, we just get right into it. So let's see. Okay. So yeah, who am I? I am Febishola and Olanipekun. I'm a graduate of economics. At the bank I read everything already, but I'm just going to give it to you like from me. So I'm a graduate of economics from Achievers University. I assume that there are other people who are like me when I was like transitioning career into cybersecurity on this call at the moment. So I transitioned to cybersecurity about 4 years ago, roughly, kind of like 4 years ago, 2018. And it's been like an interesting journey from there, learning, being involved in networking, leveraging opportunities around me. And so from my non-tech background, I decided to explore more opportunities, and I did a higher diploma in computing from National College of Ireland. It was heavy on software development. So it's been heavily self-learning and, learning with friends who are also in the cybersecurity industry, like pretty much network. And I have like mentors who are, like reach out to help me with work and all. And so outside of work is very fun for me. Some people might think this is not fun. I learned cycling just last year, September, and I've been cycling pretty much everywhere and as much as I can. I'm an adrenaline junkie. Everything that involves, activities. As you can see, the picture I chose to use to introduce myself was when I went hiking in the forest. Myself and my friends got lost in this forest, but story for another day. But yeah, anything outdoorsy. One of my goal, long-term, maybe not long-term goal, but it's kind of like next year, I'm hoping to hike Kilimanjaro. I'm putting it out everywhere so that, everyone holds me accountable. Okay, so we are going to talk on the basics of cybersecurity first. So yes, we are touching on what is cybersecurity, why is it so important. We're going to talk on the CIA triad, and then what makes up cybersecurity. And so now, what is cybersecurity? We've seen it around, we've heard it around. Oh, there's a breach. Oh, cybersecurity. I'm interested in cybersecurity. I'm doing cybersecurity. I'm a cybersecurity analyst. But I feel like a lot of people probably don't even know what cybersecurity is. So it's the practices designed to protect networks, your devices, data from cyber attack, damage, or unauthorized access. Companies have to employ cybersecurity specialists, cybersecurity people, or folks to come in and ensure that whatever data, whatever network or devices they use on their network is not susceptible to attacks from, threats and other from malicious agents. And now, why is cybersecurity important? Everywhere you look, everything you do, like there's almost maybe like 70 to 80% of what you have to do every day is online. I don't know if you check it. You have to use your bank accounts. You have you have applications on your phone. You have to maybe fill some form online. You go on Twitter. You go on Facebook, Instagram. All these applications, and somehow your data is stored in these applications. You might think, oh, it's just my email. It doesn't have anything to do with me. As long as you're using that email on your phone, you probably use that email to sign up somewhere else. And frankly speaking, it's not just one information that is needed for a breach to happen, especially to individuals. It's usually like you have footprint everywhere. Moving on to that. So you have footprint everywhere. You have footprints on Instagram, on YouTube, you connect to public Wi-Fi, you have on Facebook, Snapchat. So if all this information is exposed out there, and then some malicious agents get it, you're susceptible to attack. You might think, oh, I don't have much to lose. You probably think so, but your last 10,000 naira in your account is what someone else is decide to take. And at that moment, you're like, okay, how did they get it? And you're like thinking, oh no, the bank was breached. Sometimes the breach also comes from the individuals. Yes, that's right. The breach can happen with the bank. Somebody must have breached the bank systems, especially in Nigeria. You know, sometimes you just wake up and you see a lot on your phone. What happened? I have my ATM with me. Could it have been cloned? What happened? Like, you just keep trying to retrace your, like, you know, what those calculations you keep doing. I plan for this money. I have things I need to do with this money. So yeah, stuff like that. We're heavily reliant on software. Technology is very much exposed. And what everyone in tech would say, as long as software is being built, as long as there is technology exists out there, there is a job for every cybersecurity person. As long as you put in the work, there is a job for you, because it gets competitive, and it's who stands the higher chance that, you know, wins the trophy at the end of the day. So cybersecurity is very much important right now. Now, the CIA triad, if I heard someone say they just transitioned into security and they are currently learning. Now, this is one of the very important things in cybersecurity. It's kind of like what's like the goals of cybersecurity, the CIA triad: availability, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. It's CIA, not a criminal investigation agency of the United States. Okay. Confidentiality, kind of, so all of this kind of says that, oh, it's just English, it has to be confidential, right? Whatever it is that the company has, they would, so there's, in security, there is data classification. If this data is tagged as confidential, who should know about it? Or should this be exposed to the public? Of course not. The classifications are in private, public, confidential, restricted. So if it's private, maybe it has to be within the company, or if it's restricted, it has to be certain people who would have access to it. If it's confidential, if it's public, obviously anyone who needs to know can get access to it. Any information, or most information that are published on newspaper, is public information. Certain financial information about the company should be internal. It doesn't need to be out there. So if it gets to be out there, that's a breach of confidentiality. Your medical details, let me bring it down. Your medical details that you go to the hospital for, how would you feel if you see it exposed out there? You definitely don't want it exposed. You want it personal, because it's for you. It's everything is for is around you. And then integrity, the data that is being churned out there, or whatever information that a company is putting out there, are we sure that it hasn't been tampered with? Or whatever it is that the company is even storing, are we sure it hasn't been tampered with? So we want to make sure that one of the goals of cybersecurity is making sure that the integrity of the data or any information that the company owns is maintained. Now, availability. I'll just give you a scenario. Imagine AWS Global goes down for 2 hours. Half of the world might crumble. I don't know if this is fact, but yeah, half of the world might crumble, because it has to be available. It has to be available. A lot of businesses, a lot of companies, a lot of applications, SaaS, that software as a service, are heavily dependent on AWS. I'm sure everyone knows what AWS is. So a lot of businesses are dependent on AWS. So availability will be a key thing for them. For different companies, this CIA, the different companies pick or choose what is very much important to them, whether they want their data to be very confidential, or they want the integrity of the data to be maintained, or they want to be available as much as they can be. So for every company, they choose their which one is priority to them. Now, I just put in this chart to show us average cost of a total breach by industry. So this is the 2020 info. I couldn't get the most updated info online. Now, if CIA is not followed, or maybe CIA is there's a breach of everything, of every system or process that the company has implemented, this is how much it costs per sector. Now, health sector was leading us at the time this data was released. So it's really out there. Some people are trying to get maybe the medical information of certain prominent individuals, or it's just the most accessible for them to get access to breach the data, breach their database and get access to certain information. And look at financial industry closely following it. I feel like this data would have changed by now, because or probably still going to be the same thing, because if you look at the breaches that have happened over time, it's been evolving in various industries, especially technology industries, and with the most recent being, unfortunately, Uber. Okay, now, so we're going to talk on the basics of cybersecurity. I've chose this from CompTIA Security Plus. It's like it's one of the best basic fundamentals recommended exam for anyone who is looking to get started in cybersecurity. And the curriculum kind of like covers what's very relevant. There's been improvement on it over time. So from 501 to 601. So yeah, we're just going to talk through this, and then we'll discuss the following document. So yeah, first is on, sorry, I just have to be moving this around. Threats, attack, and vulnerabilities. Very important. This is like one of the first things that you see online. So you say, oh, what is threats? What are attacks, or what are vulnerabilities? So I'll start with vulnerabilities. So vulnerabilities are weaknesses that exist in systems and like of organizations. And just what I've put here, humans top the list of vulnerabilities of an organization. You, as an employee of organization, you top the list of vulnerability. You would hear that a company gets, like it was a phishing activity or a phishing event that made the company get breached. Who clicked the link? It was definitely one of the employees. So this is why companies tend to prioritize employee awareness. Even like October is a full month of cybersecurity awareness in the cybersecurity industry. So like all through the month of October, there is education of cybersecurity, things to do, things not to do, how to improve your security posture, just generally everything cybersecurity related. Now, threats are what can happen to your system actually. So like anything malicious activity that can actually affect your system. So if we say like there is a threat, this is a threat to the organization. In drawing threats, attacks, and vulnerabilities, there's something called risk management. So there's a spreadsheet that you have. You say, okay, this is a threat to us. How can we mitigate the threats, right? Or how can we handle this threat? How can we ensure that this threat is not exploited? An attack is what actually takes advantage, what exploit the threats that already exist. That's what exploit the vulnerability that already existing within your environment. And an attack is kind of like a ransomware attack. I'm sure you've seen ransomware attacks varying. There are so many types of ransomware attacks that we've seen around. The Pegasus, the Stuxnet, the so many types of cyber attacks that we've seen around. And so these three things are what's critical for like in exploiting or in identify the threats that can affect your environment, and knowing how to care for it or take care of it. And you have to know these things, like you have to be a step ahead of every attacker. Sometimes you might say, how can you be a step ahead? That's why different companies have different rules. There are for bigger companies, there are SOC analysts, there are penetration testers, there are we're going to get to all those rules. It's still like way down. So think about all the rules that exist. There are all those rules. And the thing is, threats alone, threats are not just computer-based alone. There are also like threats like earthquake, depending on what the environment might be. I think in Nigeria, one of the threats or the threats that might exist, who has an idea of what threat might exist? Okay, I'm just going to move on. So one of the threats that we might have in Nigeria is power supply. right? Maybe so let's look at it this way. If you have a server in your environment, your server room should be cool, because the machines that are running there needs to be like cool at every time, and they're powering on very hot. So if anything happens and the power goes off, the room becomes hot, and somehow your system like is at risk. So you have to try as much as possible to see how you can mitigate that, and you have to try and resolve that at different times. So in different environments, what happens to, there are places where there are tornadoes, there are places where they have different economic disasters. I think the most recent that we had was COVID. Like a lot of people, like it wasn't preempted, we didn't see it coming, right? But then again, businesses have to like ensure that they have to evolve with them. I remember one of the clients that I was discussing with, and it was on business continuity. And I said, when last did like a business, a disaster recovery? And the client was like, oh yeah, we're standing strong despite COVID that happened. So yeah, what works for the company really. And I mentioned, yeah, BEC is business email compromise. It's kind of like the phishing mails that you receive. It's just like, let's call it English. It's just like English, right? Business email compromise. So it's nothing exactly. So next is tools and technologies. In cybersecurity, cybersecurity works with various tools and technologies. And these are just some of them. There are a lot more. IDS and IPS. IDS is intrusion detection system, while IPS is intrusion protection system. Now, intrusion detection systems detect threats, detect attacks on your system. I'm sure everyone, maybe if anyone has a laptop and you have an antivirus on it, and maybe you insert a flash drive into your system, if the antivirus on your system detects if the flash drive has been infected with maybe a virus, the antivirus on your laptop will detect it and notify you. So you have to, maybe take out the flash drive, or to ask you, should you wipe it, or do you want to proceed? So the decision you make at that point is in your hands. Now, intrusion protection doesn't exactly intrusion protection would protect, intrusion, I think I made a mistake. So intrusion detection would detect, but it will not treat the virus. Now, intrusion protection is antivirus. So intrusion detection is like a SIM. So I mentioned a SIM now and then. Intrusion detection is like a SIM. It will notify you of what's happening on your system or what's happening on your network, while intrusion protection will protect your system. Their antivirus, it will say, intrusion protection is also firewall. It will say somebody is trying to access your network. I've blocked it out. Also, what you've outlined, the kind of like how you've tuned it from the onset. If you find this kind of maybe IP addresses or someone trying to access the network, block it out. If somebody is trying to use this particular software, any .exe file on the network, block them out. For intrusion detection, you would also what you've created, what filters you've created for your sensors, what signature you've created for it to identify is what is going to identify you on. Also, a lot of the vendors, software vendors, the SIM vendors would have signatures that would notify you on, like, there's a new issue out there. There's a new, maybe like a new CV, that's common vulnerabilities and exploits that has been identified. This is trying to get into your network, like, then you get notified and then you handle it on your end. So who handles it? It's usually maybe like the security operation and SOC analyst, that's security operation center analyst, and SOC analysts work 24/7. That's how a SOC operates. Now, moving on to DLP. DLP is data loss protection. Data loss protection is like software installed within the network environment of companies. So because I mentioned earlier on data classification, our data has been classified in this particular way. We don't want this type of data to go out. If this type of data is going out of the network, notify this particular person. So it's going to notify maybe the data owner or the IT admin or some key persons that it's going to block this from going out. I remember when like I was leaving my former company and I was trying to copy some files from my laptop, personal files, and the IT reached out to me that he noticed that this amount of file has been going out of my laptop, which is quite unusual. So they were just checking if it was, right, and I was like, okay, yes. So because that is in place. So for some, depends on how they've allowed it. So for some, it will go through, for some, it will not go through, or you won't be able to copy it at all. And now same is security incident and event management. This is an IDS. It detects intrusions on your network environment, on how you've installed it. And firewall, I want to believe that we all know what a firewall is, but yeah, let's look at it. So firewall is like a gateway to your organization. Once you have a firewall on your network, you can filter what kind of IP addresses connect to your network. You can whitelist, you can blacklist, you can, who gets access. You can say, okay, nobody from China is going to be able to access this network. If you at any point in time tried to maybe access certain company and then you say you are not allowed, maybe they've blocked out, your country from accessing it, and you're just restricted. And then we're moving on to FIM, that's file integrity monitoring. It also works like the DLP as well, but in this case, it's also is like don't let certain files go out of the network. The data has been classified, so it's file integrity monitoring. If there's someone accessing this file, has this person been given access to the file for them to be able to access the file? That's pretty much how FIM operates. And there are actually a lot of tools and technologies within cyber. If we want to cover it, it's going to take like all of our time today. Okay, now architecture and design. So this particular topic is like very broad. You say cloud there, it already tells you that it's very broad. So different types of cloud, public, private, hybrid, and community. Different companies choose what they want. That's for companies that have chosen to, go to cloud. And for those that are on-prem, they have configuration guidelines. Even for those in the cloud as well, they have configuration guidelines. There are a lot of companies, a lot of IT departments, a lot of cybersecurity are guided by standards and frameworks. So, for example, a company that processes card data, if anybody works with fintechs and like here, you would have heard maybe your company saying they are working towards PCI DSS. So PCI DSS is payment card industry data security standard. You have to adhere to PCI DSS. Like as a card processing company, you must adhere to it. But sorry, can I just get 1 minute? I have a call. My doorbell.
Wow, what an amazing session so far for me. It's been going on well and good so far, so expecting much more. Thank you for dropping the meaning of AWS, Terry. Thank you. Now we know, or let me say now I know what that means. Thank you. So while we wait for Pebishala, I don't know who wants to say anything about the session. How has it been going so far? What have we learned so far from this? Terry, can you talk where you are? Can you unmute, Terry? Terry, can you? I just want to feel people's from the room. I just want to feel from you guys from here. Just let me to get an idea of what you guys think about this session so far. Terry, can you hear me at all? All right, Fabiola, please go ahead. So I won't take your time.
Okay, no worries. Okay, so sorry everyone for the disruption. Thank you. Right, so now cloud here, I mentioned initially on public, private, community, and hybrid. So one of the public cloud, I feel like we know a lot of people probably know what cloud is, but then let's just take it one at a time. So public cloud, you've heard of AWS, you've heard of Microsoft Azure, there's Alibaba, there's DigitalOcean, there are quite a number of them, like a lot of public cloud providers. So it's not just AWS and Azure. That's probably what like a lot of people are hearing. So there's a lot more, and to be nice to know. So even the community is, if I, so getting into all this explanation now, it looks like I'm running short of time already, and I'm sure I did my case somewhere looking like you don't have time. Standards and framework, we discussed that on PCI DSS. Now, companies must be that process cards, or companies in the financial industry must adhere to PCI DSS. Here in Europe, there's something they call PSD2. PSD2 also is is a financial industry standard that companies that process transactions must adhere to. Now, that companies will adhere to certain standards, but they don't necessarily have to adhere to certain frameworks. So one of them is one of the frameworks is CIS. CIS is standard. One of the frameworks, I suddenly have forgotten. But yeah, one of the CIS is NIST CSF, NIST Cybersecurity Framework. So a company does not necessarily have to adhere to CSF, but they can say they've structured their in their network environment by using NIST, like helping them to ensure that all configurations are right. Another configuration guideline is also CIS, that's Computer Information. It's an institute, it's one institute. It's a US based there, but it's globally accepted and it's really good. So defense in depth is how a company has also chosen, like, to how do we want to create a defense for our network environment? Do we want to like do security by obscurity? How do we want to, we want to have layers of security? How are we implementing and ensuring that our environment is not compromised? That's the overall goal. SDLC is software development lifecycle. Somehow cybersecurity is you're involved with software, right? So depending on which part you're involved with the software development lifecycle and ensuring that whatever software is developed, security is in the process from the beginning to the end. Okay, now identity and access management. So this is a very brief summary of IAM. So if you hear IAM anyway that relates to IT, it is identity and access management. Now it has to deal with identity, authentication, authorization, and accounting. Now for you would have heard of two-factor authentication, multi-factor authentication, and all that. It's pretty much like everything around IAM. So I would say something you have. What do you have to identify you and to be able to access a particular system? Let's say I want to log on to, I'll use one of the easy ones. Let's say I want to log on to Facebook. Something I have. What do I have? Okay, I should have started with something I know. So let's take it with something I know. So something I know is my username and password. If except I'm sharing password, I'm the only one that will know the password. So that's something I know. I use the password, it identifies me, and proceed. And I say, okay, something you have. Something I have is like, if you're trying to log onto your bank account and you're sending certain amount of money, you have a token with you that is going to ask you to get the code from the token and input it to be able to process the transaction, right? That's something you have. Now, something you are, thumbprints. For some other phone users, you have to like your face, your face. Then somewhere you are. For some financial, like banks, for example, it's the IP address of where you use it or where you've used the application has been registered with your phone. Now, if you move to another place and you're using another IP address, I feel like I need to explain how you're having another IP address. So if you move to another place and you have another IP address, the phone is going to ask you to confirm, because it has already registered the first IP address that you use to access the system, to access the application to your phone. So using another IP address is now going to ask you to re-verify again that you are like genuinely the one and not someone trying to access your account. Now, something you do, I was reading that there is this thing that Microsoft Windows have, like a feature. Maybe you have to like create something like do something like this for your maybe your laptop to open. Some application have it, but it's not something like really common. Now, looking at my time. Okay, so moving on to governance, risk, and compliance. From what I noticed, that few things have been broken out from this, but somehow they still sit together. I mentioned risk management earlier. So risk management is in a company, identify what risk that can possibly affect the company or can affect render the company's services down, and ensuring that you can either avoid this risk, or you can accept, or you can transfer, and you can mitigate. Those are the 4 risk techniques. So you can either avoid the risk, you can or transfer it, or reject, mitigate it, or reject the risk. So it's not possible to say you eliminate the risk, except like you're like taking it off entirely. Even the avoiding the risk there is still like it exists around you. So like, how are you managing to take it off? But can you eliminate a risk 100%? As long as that there's an application within your environment, as long as you have like software that runs, you have people who use it, the risk cannot be like eliminated risk cannot be 100%. Now, policies, plans, and procedure. This is all on governance, risk, and compliance. So for every company, the management of there must be a management commitment. I'm speaking on ISO 27001 terms now. So ISO 27001 is one of the standards that company try to adhere to. It's not compulsory to adhere to ISO 27001, but it's kind of like what gives your company an edge. They can say that, okay, my company is ISO 27001 compliance. And for anyone who knows ISO 27001, it's information security management system. There are certain checks that you need to fulfill for you to be able to comply to this. So having those things in place kind of like gives an edge of a vote of confidence in you that you actually know what you're doing and you have like the right things in place for your company. So you can develop your policies or your plans and procedures according to ISO 27001, ensuring that the company is like compliant, the company has the right things in place. But the work of governance is ensuring that these things that you have in place, are they actually being done? And that's where audit also comes in, and there is like all the work together. Oh, okay, sorry, there's a repetition of organizational risk management there, but yeah, so 1 and 3 are the same thing. So compliance to regulation, this is what I was explaining the other time. PCI DSS, SOX, HIPAA, GDPR, and these things vary per country. So for SOX, it's within different, I think different companies that decide to employ it, but it's very prevalent within Europe. HIPAA is a health compliance in the US, while GDPR is mostly within Europe. Interesting thing about GDPR is I was reading that like earlier, any company who like experiences a data breach, let's say for example, it was Uber within Europe that got breached, the fine is hefty. Now it has to be either, I think it's 5% of their global revenue or 20 million euros. Anyone that is higher. That's quite a trap, because 20 million, how many companies would 5 million? I mean, there are definitely rich companies, right? But 20 million euros is quite a lot. So you can imagine that the minimum you might have to pay is 20 million euros. So that's why companies within Europe are trying as much as possible to adhere to the GDPR or ensure that they don't get breached. Now, incident response and business impact analysis, some say business impact analysis, there's business impact assessment. It's like how your company is able to recover in the case of an incident. Business impact analysis identifies all the critical processes of a company and ensuring that whenever there's a downtime, the company like is able to get back up, or the minimum downtime that the company can have, and how systems can be running within this time. Yeah, oh, sorry. Can you still see my screen? I mistakenly clicked pause.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is cryptography and KPI. Now, cryptography is not crypto. It's not the one on Binance, right? But it is similar. You know how they say that a blockchain is like it works with crypto. People don't know which transaction goes to which here. So this cryptography is like, I use this example so that we have like clear understanding of what cryptography is. So I am a sender. I send it in like I encrypt what I'm sending to someone else, maybe to more than one person. I encrypt to the public key. Now, this gets to the people who are supposed to receive it, and they have their own keys, their private key that they will use to decrypt it, and then be able to access what I sent. Now, there are different types of cryptography. There is symmetric and asymmetric cryptography, and just around the cryptography as well. There is hashing, there's sorting, there's encryption. All of these like evolve under like cryptography. Now, there are different. I'm trying to get the, like, it's not coming, the word's not coming exactly, but yeah, there's AES, DES, 3DES, like the level of like cryptography. Now, a lot of companies are like ensuring that their data at rest, data in transit, ensuring that this data is not exposed out there. Okay, so I'll use an example of cryptography that we all would most likely know. So if you are going onto a website, and very popular example, right? They'll say you go onto a website and if you don't see the padlock, that means the website is not safe, right? So TLS, SSL are also like some kind of like cryptographic ways of ensuring that your data is not exposed, but also that a website has padlock doesn't mean the website is safe. A lot of websites are not genuine, are trying to make their website look genuine, will get the certificates signed on it and say, oh yeah, you can get onto the website. One of the things I was going to actually mention under the first part, under threats, vulnerabilities, and attack is social engineering. Like I mentioned, phishing, right? So if there's a phishing attempt, they definitely want to try as much as possible to make the website look like the original website. So yeah, they would encrypt it and say, oh yeah, the website is genuine, so you can go to it and put your information, and you just trust and then go to it without checking the other things. That's on you. Okay. Now, leveraging on cybersecurity as a career. We've talked on different areas of security. Cybersecurity is so broad. Like there are so many career paths within security. And I would use myself as an example. My first role in cybersecurity was digital security analyst. I got a training, did digital security, assessment for NGOs within Nigeria, Ghana, and I had my colleagues go to some other countries. Now, after that, I worked as a SOC analyst, Security Operations Center, that I mentioned earlier, working 247 in shifts. So from working as a SOC analyst, I migrated into working as a consultant doing PCI DSS assessments. But it was kind of like opportunities to leverage within the company. So PCI DSS, ISO 27001, and different other compliance standards for different fintechs and companies as well. So, and now I migrated onto doing like risk assessments and like management for different companies. Now, again, my current role has to do a lot with application security, threat modeling, and everything AppSec, really secure by design, and like everything that has to do with ensuring that the application is secure from like end to end. There is the opportunity to evolve, and you're not just going to be static. Also, if you decide I want to be a threat hunter for like the longest term, I want to build a career on this, absolutely, it's your oyster. The world's your oyster to take on. So there are different teams in security. To be honest, they're like, it evolves. Some people can come tomorrow and say there's green team. So if you hear red team in security, it is the penetration testers, that's vulnerability assessment and penetration testers, threat hunting, exploit development, threat intelligence, malware analysis, social engineers. These are all jobs, and there are actually a lot more. Like there are threat researchers, threat hunters, they all work together. So these are all like on that red team. Now for purple team, interesting thing is the purple team is actually broad. The governance, risk, and compliance that I mentioned prior is like a very big role, and there are different roles that you can explore within here. You don't have to necessarily be maybe a cybersecurity auditor or just a cybersecurity consultant alone. There are people who are like cybersecurity awareness trainers. That's what they do. They are training people from the company to company. So if you enjoy teaching and you feel like, oh, I don't want to do all this research, just get the knowledge you need to know about cybersecurity, and put yourself out there as somebody who can train people, like ensuring that companies don't get breached. How you put yourself. There are companies that constantly recruit this kind of like roles as well. There are GRC consultants for companies who work internally. There are like varying opportunities. Now to the blue team, there's incident responders, security operations, that's the SOC analyst, IT networks and systems analyst. This is the CIO and the CISO office as well. So these people are like, so it is the blue team against the red team. So see the red team as the evil, in quotes. Now see the blue team as the angels, like protecting someone. So you would also have heard of the black hat hackers, the white hat, the gray hats. So the black hat hackers are like the not evil, but like the very malicious one who are looking to break into like vulnerable systems and just for money, lock up with ransomware. The gray hats are the ones that are the ones that find vulnerability in your system and then submit it to get like bounty and from the companies. And in some cases, if they don't get it, they can tend to be malicious. So that's like gray. But the white hat ones are the ones that like find vulnerabilities, kind of like bug bounty hunters. Yeah, those are that. So there is a lot of opportunities, especially in all of these, like especially within the purple and the blue, because something I've observed is that a lot of people just assume, oh, I want to be into penetration testing. I want to be into penetration testing. Within the red team as well, you find that there are like cloud security. Purple team, you would find cloud security consultants, like the blue team, like there are different roles. I tried to fit the role in, but it was looking too clumsy. So yeah. Now, certification in cybersecurity. I can assure you that certifications are a lot in cybersecurity, and you would write as much and you're gonna be tired. So, but one thing I always try as much as possible to encourage people who are looking to get into security to start with is the CompTIA Security Plus. No, I'm not sponsored to talk about CompTIA Security Plus, but I took it in like 2019 when I started my career, and I can reckon that it was like very helpful for me to like progress. I could, have certain discussions based on what I had studied, and they were actually like resources for me to learn and, study online for it. So it was really good. And that's why, honestly, why I can recommend it. And it's good that they are constantly changing it. And it's also vendor agnostic. So it's not talking about, it's not endorsing AWS. So it talks about everything as if like they are all one. And so as you progress in career, there are like other certifications. This IAPP is privacy. The ISACA is the coordinator of like the body that covers CISM, CRISC, CGH, and CISA. These certifications are under like different roles. A penetration tester does not need to write CISA. Now, it also depends on where you're looking at for the long term for yourself. To be honest, like I might say somebody doesn't need to write something. I could be wrong, because what's the interest of the person in the long run, right? Now there is ISC2. ISC2, they have the CISSP, there's the CCSP, SSCP, CAP. Like you look at all the certifications, and then there's a lot for you to take on. Like there's more than enough for you to explore. SANS is one of the interesting certifications in cybersecurity. It's not a certification, but it's a training body. It's one of the very expensive certificates. So average cert is like maybe $6,000. I mean, it's a dream. EC Council, I'm sure a lot of people have heard CH, I want to be a ethical hacker. Yeah, this is the body governing all of the certificates, CCSO, CH, ECIH, LPT, ENSA, ESP, and a lot more like certifications. There is also the e-learning, EJPT. There's also e-learning junior penetration tester for people who might be interested in junior penetration testing. And it's another like certification body. I couldn't insert it. It's another certification body, and they have a lot of certificates under them as well, which it's nice to explore. So time's almost up. Okay, now cybersecurity as a pathway to travel abroad. I spoke with a few friends because I travel abroad as a student. So maybe I wasn't the best to talk on that, but yeah, I spoke with people who could speak through it. Now, work experience, very important. You travel abroad as expats. They will not take, the chances that they will take a very beginner who is just transiting could be low. So I would say, like, bury your head into the work, do the work, seek out for opportunities, talk to people like, okay, this is what you're currently learning and you're looking for internship opportunities. Like, just keep trying to build experience, building your capacity, and then gradually you can apply abroad. Or you can start applying from the onset. You can see maybe graduate roles abroad and then, shoot your shot and never not shoot your shot, like always go for it. Now, leveraging on LinkedIn, like you see opportunities on LinkedIn. I was just watching a video today that says like you go on LinkedIn, you search for a job, it comes up, or you see a job on, let's say for example, threat analysts in CrowdStrike, and then you see that 6,000 applicants have applied for this role. Don't, like, people just be like, nah, I don't stand a chance. Please don't. Go ahead and apply, like go to their website and apply for that role. The link I saw says that, like, for anybody that clicks the link and goes to the website of CrowdStrike, LinkedIn counts it as if the person has applied. So it doesn't mean that like all the numbers you see are genuinely all of those that have actually applied to the role. So you can just go ahead and apply on the website. So apply as much as possible, like 50, 100, don't get deterred, be determined and keep pushing for it. And then go on to, so also if you maybe know the country that you really want to go to the website of like the government's maybe department, for certain countries, Department of Justice or Department of some departments. Go to the website and then you see that they list the critical skills that they need in the company. And a lot of them usually put the companies that are like hiring massively from abroad on their website. Also, when you're searching on LinkedIn, you can search maybe for that particular role and add visa to it. And then you see companies that are actually sponsoring visas abroad. Also, you can search for remote jobs while in Nigeria. This can be a bit hard, but there are a number of people who have roles in Nigeria, like cybersecurity roles in Nigeria. It's most likely maybe going to be GRC. But if you can prove your mettle that I can take on this role, like be anywhere I can be, and then you'll be very surprised that there are actually opportunities that are bound for you. And yeah, so we've talked a lot on like what you can learn or what you should learn. So how can you learn this and where can you learn it? This website. So this particular Professor Mesa course was very helpful for me when I was taking Security Plus, and is constantly refreshing it. So this is the updated. I'll share the link and everyone that is interested can get across to it. Udemy is a very great resource. Cyber Mentor, if you don't know him, you should totally look out for him. He creates like penetration testing, vulnerability management and incident response courses online. And it's really good. It's really good. It's not a certification body, but it's an individual who's like pushing for such and ensuring that there's accessibility. Because a lot of the certificates that we listed are pretty on the high side. They're expensive. So imagine you have to pay so much for data, and then you have to pay as much for again for exam. It's a lot, right? So these are like some free resources. I've like tried to create them. There's probably a lot more. Udemy is not exactly free, but it's pretty cheaper compared to some other ones that you see. Also, there's this virtual internship website. It's Forage, theforage.com. They have virtual internship that you can kind of simulate, give you an experience. I know there is a like cybersecurity, there's a risk management internship, from PwC Australia on the website. There's another one. So you just go ahead and try to get experience of how it is. You will write reports and then you get back to them. They'll give you tasks to do and then you submit it. Even though it's kind of automated, but I think it's still something good that you can talk about if you have an interview, even if it's like an internship within Nigeria. Also, do you have experience with this? Oh yeah, I worked on this particular this during an internship or a virtual internship I did. It's usually like a very short internship, but it's something worthy for you to actually understand or know about. So also, I'd say consider volunteering with organizations and cyber conferences. There are a lot of cyber conferences that are remote. You can consider like volunteering with them. They might want people who can be on ground, maybe coordinating certain groups or maybe Zoom or maybe managing their youth. So volunteer with them and you never can tell where opportunities arise from. Also, with organizations, No Go Formaga is an organization in Nigeria. You can check them online. I think they can take volunteers at different times. So you can go with them, go and preach the gospel of, cyber awareness in different areas, different people or people who might not be exactly exposed to it. I think they are very heavy on, threat intelligence and as well. Also join groups, WhatsApp groups, on Twitter, everywhere. Follow the news, dark reading, ZDNet, and follow communities on Twitter and LinkedIn. Like just create your Twitter or your social media to be like the way it is. You can have groups that you can list, on Twitter, for instance, and then you can follow them. And on LinkedIn, connect with people like professionals who are already players in the industry. They can be, open to, they might have opportunity. Try to connect responsibly with them, and you can have communication and you can have conversations, and people always not always, but you can get replies. And in some cases where you don't get replies. That's my next. Oh yeah, I mentioned podcasts and blogs. Our podcast is Darknet Diaries. There are different blogs out there, people sharing their experience, and just on people responding to your message. So these are my little extra tips. If you don't get a mentor or somebody you message that you are really looking up to on LinkedIn is not responding to your message, I'd say aim to build a peer study group. Encourage yourselves. Like maybe you meet somebody else on this call and you guys you can have build your own circle, or you have your own community, and then you're helping yourself to improve, learn, ask questions. Oh, I'm currently working on this exam. This is what I'm working on. I don't understand this. Can you explain it to me? Do you understand this? Oh, I learned this. Do you mind if I explain it to you? That's how you get to understand and retain things. I remember when I learned about Stuxnet, I read it the night before, and then I walked into the office and they were talking about, oh, Stuxnet. I was so happy. It was it was such a good moment for me. Now, soft skills are as important as technical skills. You don't just have to be, the baddest hacker out there. You have to be you try as much as possible, a great team player, you'll be able to communicate to different people at different levels. There are a lot of soft skills that you need, that would help you to grow in your career. Know your onions, be able to talk through, sabi this thing, know the standards that govern different areas of cyber. Very popular ones are ISO 27001, PCI DSS, NIST CSF, and then CIS. I've talked about this earlier as well. So know these things. You don't have to know them in depth. Oh, somebody's trying to talk to you about PCI. You're going for an interview at maybe a fintech and you don't know PCI DSS. What are you going for? I'm sorry, just stay back at home. You don't know ISO 27001. What? Nah. Also, lastly, leverage your network. If you don't talk, if you don't speak, oh yeah, looking for this opportunity, you would be limiting yourself really to opportunities that you could have had access to. So I'd say speak up. You can, DM people, message. Social media really are giving us opportunities to approach people. So don't go into DMs and say hello and wait for a reply. I'm sorry, you sleep there. Message people and be like, hi, I'm this, I'm currently with learning this, I've been doing this, I've been involved in this, currently looking at opportunities for this. If you have some, maybe some time, people would say, oh, this person has pretty much been involved in a few things. Happy to have a conversation. And that's it. So, yeah, that's it from me. Thank you.
Baby Shola, thank you. Can you see the chat in the chat room, Shola? This was massive. This is amazing. Okay, so I also have a question, right? But I'm going to allow you to ask that question, so I don't start first. Thank you very much. That was amazing. That was amazing, Shola. That's nice. So I know Fakbojuwo, you've been raising your hands for a long time, so I need to allow you to talk first. Fakbojuwo, please, over to you first. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Hi, Febi. So, I have a couple of questions about 4. So I'll just take them one by one. So, yeah, I've been seeing these statistics online. I wanted to confirm it's true. Is it true that currently there's the ID
Okay, your network is breaking.
for security, cybersecurity professional?
Emmanuel, can you say that again?
Oh, I said obviously a high demand for cybersecurity.
Can you say that again, please?
I want to confirm the statistics that I've been seeing online. Is it true that there's a high demand for cybersecurity experts?
I see the same online. So I would say, yeah, that's what we see online, right? I mean, so if you look at, for example, when Uber breach happened, there was like a very there was a long list of demand for like a request for on LinkedIn for people who like certain skill sets. So it's kind of like there is a joke in security, like it is like before a breach happens, it's very tiny budget, and then when a breach happens, there's a very large budget for security. So companies are opening up gradually, are accepting security professional, or are letting or allowing people to like welcoming security. Yeah, really, there are opportunities really. As long as, to be honest, I think that as long as software exists, as long as there are developers developing security, companies are rising, there would always be a demand for security. So yeah.
Okay, so secondly, I wanted to ask, so like, what's the highest career achievement for a cybersecurity? I mean, like in finance, you have CFOs, maybe in risk management, you have CRO. So like in cybersecurity, what is the highest career achievement?
That's dicey, because for different companies, if I say CISO is the highest, I'm wrong. There are different, for different companies, there are different roles. So also it depends on how you want to like define your career path, because like I'm an application security consultant. You can like migrate into being application security specialist. You can like say you want to be. So there are different, defining your career, to be honest, I think is on you, on how you want to achieve. CISO is Chief Information Security Officer. I don't think, I could be wrong, but I don't think it's like the highest. There are different like areas that you can really explore.
Okay, so one more.
Okay.
Yeah, that answer. So one more, yeah. So like you said there are a lot of career paths in cybersecurity, but your own career path, what will a day in your office life look like?
A day in my office, like, so let me put it this way. I just started this role, but as a consultant, my role involves talking a lot with people, a lot, different people, different teams, like different countries. So yeah, a day in my life involves like, because I'm still pretty new on the role, I haven't exactly I can't exactly give you like exact definition, but for now, it's still very much with talking to people, creating relationships, because as a consultant, you still need to leverage your relationships like later on. And in my previous role as a consultant, I was working with Deloitte. My previous role with them, it was different, because every day we're talking with different clients, getting to know the environment. So it's a different day of learning. Like I didn't exactly have experience with, for example, ICS KIDA, but I had to like learn within like a week and go do an assessment of their environment and knowing how to advise them. So it's varies really.
Okay, the last one, I promise. So yeah, I've been seeing this stuff, data analysis and cybersecurity. Which we advise as a career?
That
Don't be
question.
biased.
That question. Of course, I'll be biased. What do you think I'll say? Are you joking? Of course, cybersecurity. I don't get data analyst. No, I don't know, but it's cybersecurity all the way. Sorry.
All right, thank you.
To be honest, I think it's a personal decision.
Okay.
It's a personal decision. What do you want?
Okay. All right, thank you very much, Emmanuel. So we'll have to Oluchi. Oluchi, you can go ahead and put your question right now. Oluchi.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Baby Shola, I must say, you're really an MVP. You're good.
Thank you.
Please, I just want to make an appeal, please. And can you do me this favor? Can you be my mentor? That's just what I want to say.
That's on the spot.
That's a setup, actually.
I'm telling you, that's a setup.
Is it settled? Wow. Is it?
I'll send you my email.
Wow. Wow. So much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you for shooting your shots, Oluchi. Thank you. So over to you. Faith.
No more short of mentorship.
Thank you. No more shots.
No more shots.
Faith, yeah, go over. Your question, please, Peter Laguke. You can go ahead. All right. Okay, sorry. Let me just unmute you. Okay, yes.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Oluchi, you beat me to that, Sha. Like,
no more slots. Thank you.
Okay, but then, my question, actually, my second question is dealing with imposter syndrome. You understand? As regards, okay, for me personally, I would say since I transitioned into cybersecurity, I also didn't do anything related to tech, but there is this feel that comes with, can you do this thing? Do you know this thing a whole lot? And like, even sometimes I know these stuffs, and when I try to do them on my own, it looks like I don't know it. But when I find myself among group of people, it looks like I know it, and they're like, you know this thing so much, you know this thing so much. So I don't know if it is actually imposter syndrome. I don't know. Can you give us like if little of your experience when you started this whole journey, how it looked like to you? Did you at any point doubt yourself? How were you able to overcome this whole thing? So that's my question. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Faith. If I'm being very honest with you, I think that everyone, to a very large extent, still questions themselves sometimes, a lot of times. Like many times, I'm still at the point where I would read something and be like, I don't know, I'm not sure I remember, but okay. Like sometimes when like you see something, or if some people are discussing something, and let me just say that imposter syndrome really comes through. Like it comes at you at any point in your career. It's not like just the beginning. And funny, like when I was starting out, it was the same. Like every time, like I mentioned when I read about Stuxnet, and somebody was talking about it in the office, and I was so happy. If I didn't know it, of course, I would be doubting myself. And truly, it would always be there, right? But deep down, if you know that you know it, like go ahead and like have the discussion, ask question if you're not sure. So if you always want to feel like I know this and I know this, or I should know it, when you should actually ask question, you would like be suppressing yourself a lot when you can actually possibly shine. Like ask question, oh, I'm not certain what this is. It won't kill. Read. So a friend of mine says that the best way to like conquer this thing is to constantly read, study, ask questions, like just go and find, like, see how you can make it possibly fun for yourself. My friends like really don't have a choice but listen to me. I try to explain things I learned to them. I use them as my landing board. I'm like, oh, I just learned this, so let me explain it to you. So this is this, this is this, this is this, and you're like, okay, this is this, and like, okay. I'm like, do you understand? They're like, so they are probably listening to me. If they're not listening to me, I've talked about it, right? I'm like, there's a high chance that I will remember. So find maybe like peer group that you can have discussions at different times, talk about something that you just learned and maybe something you don't understand. And then you can like go over it. If there's maybe have examples that can help you to understand it better as well. Did that help?
Yes.
All right. So Femishola, there's a question in the chat room. I'm just going to go ahead and read that. The question is from ID. He said, I see that a lot of companies in Nigeria insist on having a tech degree as their job requirements, aside having certifications. How do we that are transitioning, knowing that we don't have a tech degree, manage this, and seeing that you have a BSc in economics, but you did a PGD in tech field? How can we sort this? What would you advise?
So like when I was starting out, I had the opportunity to attend a She Secures boot camp for 2 days. So I felt like it gave me the opportunity to meet people. So it was a boot camp for fundamentals, to be honest. We're just touching on different parts of security. We're just talking about it. So we installed Kali, but I felt it was good. So it kind of gave me the exposure to, like, I met people as well. So I leveraged on these relationships. So most of my CCL opportunity and my first job at Century, it was all like I could talk through my interview for more the things I've learned. Nobody asked me, they weren't even interested in my background, to be honest, whether I studied computer science, because it was internship. They weren't expecting perfection from the onset. So and like it's my PGD, my postgraduate diploma was just 2020, and I've been working since 2018. So it wasn't exactly the companies requesting for it. Like, if you can actually prove that this is what you've been up to, if you can talk to. So I feel like another thing you maybe need to do is your CV, structure it in such a way that you call out the cybersecurity. It's obvious that when they are looking at your CV, if you say you're applying for a cybersecurity role, it's not your maybe, for example, it's not your, let me just use the, like, what is very far from customers from cybersecurity. Maybe it's not your customer service role that is showing, right? You want to push, maybe you've taken forage internship, you push it up. You've taken, like, your summary, your profile summary is, cybersecurity enthusiast who's like leveraging of learning this and that, and just wrap it all together like that. Like, genuinely put it up, put your forage internship virtual learning experience up front. I mean, you're not applying for a senior role. Why should all that be expected of you? As long as you can defend what you're putting on your CV and you've been studying very much. And if you can also possibly, I don't know, like, I don't want to shoot myself in the leg, because certifications does not necessarily mean that you get a job. But if you can write a certificate, maybe the Computer Security Plus, it speaks that, oh, okay, she knows what she's doing, or he knows what he's doing. Let's give him opportunity for interview, and then they get an opportunity for interview, and you blow their minds. So yeah, that works. I think that would be an opportunity to explore.
Thank you very much, Febisola. Okay, before we go to the next question, just to let us all know that we'll be having the breakout room, right? The breakout room is for us to ask more questions and also to network. You might be lucky to have Febisola in your room. So if you have her in your room, please make use of that opportunity, now that I'm saying it. So I just be lucky to have her in your room, right? So before we go to our breakout room, I just want to ask Febisola, there is this popular question that I think some of us that are not tech inclined at all do ask. I would like to ask you, what's the relationship between cybersecurity and hacking? Are they related at all?
Well, yeah. So penetration testing is actually hacking.
Okay.
So ethical hacking, so CEH is certified ethical hacker. That's the certification offered by EC Council. So hacking is an aspect of cybersecurity, but there's kind of like an understanding that it is what cybersecurity is. It's not just what cybersecurity is. It's an aspect of cybersecurity. So there's a lot more to cyber than just hacking. So, but yeah, hacking is a part of cybersecurity.
Thank you very much for answering that. So I'm still taking, if you have questions, you can please use the raising of hands button. Yes, the recordings will be shared to everybody who registered. You all get the recordings. If you have any question, if you don't want to jump into the chat room, you can as well just use the raise hand button, then I will allow you speak. You can also get to ask your questions. So we still have a few more minutes for questions before we go to the breakout rooms. So once again, if you have questions, please go ahead and ask your questions. But really, Febisola, are you sure you don't want to take one more person for me as mentee? Just one more person. The
truth is, I'm involved in like 2 mentorship programs.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't want to like
promise and not deliver. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. I get that. No problem. So we'll be going to our breakout rooms right now. So breakout is going to be for 15 minutes. So we quickly do that and we come back in. So please, the feedback form is already in the chat room. The feedback form is in the chat room already. Please let's fill that form. It will help us to do better. Okay, so I have a question here. It says, I currently work in an advertising agency and I'm the IT lead. I want to be fully involved in cybersecurity. Please, how do I start? Over to you, Febisola.
I think you're on a good start already. an IT lead, like you have edge, like you have an edge. You probably just want to see how you can, like what opportunities are exposed to you. Like what I'm looking at like what I don't want to just recommend certification straight up, but what area of cybersecurity would actually or interest you? Maybe the area that interests you, you can decide to explore it and then leverage on that to like for opportunities around you. I know like with that, I think it's pretty, I don't want to just say take an exam and jump into security, but it's going to be, it's most certainly like say, okay, maybe you want to take like the CISM, or maybe you want to even start with the, I'm sure if you know everything that cybersecurity, computer security plus offers already, but you can use the CISM to leverage. If you've been working as an IT lead, you can say, okay, you have experience, understand what it like, move from there, doing information security, except you want to do maybe you want to do penetration, you want to be a pen tester, that's penetration testing, you want to be a pen tester, you want to be a hacker, that's a different route entirely. So you can take on the CISM if you like, since you have like maybe like leadership experience, except you're going back into another route entirely. So yeah, I hope I gave an answer to your question. I don't want it to just be on the basis of exam, but I feel like it's kind of like the easiest routes for you to go through.
All right. Thank you very much. So we go now to our breakout room. So let's get ready. You're going to find yourself in another room right now. Anything to read. So people, like, remember you said you're going to be dropping some things for us, some link. So you can also please help
Hello.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Faith, met beautiful people. I trust you now. I trust you. I trust you. I trust you. I trust you. So welcome back, Femi Shola. Welcome back. Welcome everybody. Welcome guys. Welcome guys. Welcome guys. Welcome guys. So sorry, Victoria, you were not assigned. So sorry about that, please. So sorry about that. So our breakout rooms we were led by. We had Vima lead a room. We also had I also led a room, and Sobiola also led a room. Oyinka also led a room. So sorry about that. Oluchi, we are also sorry about that, please. So sorry, that wasn't intentional. So let's just wait for 1 more minute for everybody to join us. Okay. Oyinka, I see you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so Oyinka, just can I just get a representative from your room to speak to us? Just one person from your room to speak to us, please.
Okay, so I'm going to pick Faith because I really love Faith's vibe. So
If you don't pick her, I'm going to call her myself. So if you don't pick her, I'll call her. So Faith, over to you. Oh, Vima, Bishola was in your room. I'm coming for you. Just hold on. I'm coming to that room. Bishola, your room. I'm coming there. But for now, Faith, yeah, you have the mic. Please, how was your room? What was the communication in your room? Faith, over to you, please.
Okay, the communication in my room was banger. Like it was so beautiful having to hear people speak, hear their opinions, their thoughts, and things that would actually make us keep connecting together, their opinions. Like it made sense, and having to connect with people on LinkedIn. I connected with Oyinkan. I'm so happy. I'm blushing self. And then having to connect people on Twitter, Instagram, and everything. So when, even after I leave this space, you understand, I still have people who have same mind or same interest as I do on different social media platforms. So it's beautiful, for real. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So Doshima, who are your room? Can I just have a representative from your room, Doshima? Just one person from your room.
Okay, hi. So I was in the adware breakout room. So I will call on Victoria at Daramola to just, help share on what we discussed in our breakout room.
All right, thank you. Victoria, please go ahead.
All right, so good evening, everybody. I enjoyed my breakout room because it was more about everybody sharing what they have learned. So I work in the tech space. I work as a data protection and tech policy analyst. So like I do a lot of law thingy related to tech. So quite a number of these things that we discussed today are things that I do on a daily basis, but not like the very hardware parts where you get to like do all of this pet testing that Febishala was talking about. So and one of the reasons I joined the class was basically to just say, because I feel like you are able to better serve your clients when you understand the core of what they go through on daily basis. And that's one of the things that I've learned today. So basically, I think today I really put my mind on the certifications because I know that about an hour, 2 hours is never going to be enough to learn all that there is in cybersecurity. So I just like really put my mind to the resources that she told us to go and get, the cyber mentor thingy, the dark reading, ZDNet, Attack IQ, and all of those, and then the internships as well. So I think that those ones were really very helpful for me because I think that she couldn't have like covered all that much with the very short time space that we have. So those ones were like my key takeaways for this session. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. So before we go right now, just like to announce also the feedback link is already in the chat session. Please let's fill it. We'd like to do better. We'd like to also improve ourselves. So we need to hear your feedback. And also the feedback also will be detailing our email address so that we can also send across the recording of this session to you all. Thank you. So I also have Toby Light. So can you please tell us one person from your room, Toby? One person from your room.
Actually, Doshima led in my room, so she just presented Victoria. Yeah.
All right, thank you. So we are going to the major. Okay, I'm so sorry, not the major room. Vima. The room that had Febishola. So who do you want to nominate to speak for you guys, please?
Adewi, if you are here, could you tell us what you learned in our room? Right. You know, we had our mentor.
You. Yes.
Adewi, could you go ahead?
Is it Adewi Adedoyin, right?
Yes, Adewi Adedoyin.
Okay. I'm not sure you can speak very
if it's not there, yeah, can we have Ajibola Matthias Jacobs? He's also a tech guru. So can you go ahead, Ajibola?
Ajibola,
are you there with us?
Hi, good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, well, in our group, we're basically just gisting and answering questions. Of course, it was excited to have Febishola in the group. And we answered some questions around imposter syndrome and you know, how to grow in the career, cybersecurity career. You know, just some questions about the way to work. It was nice and insightful.
All right.
And we had opportunities to get more people mentored. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ajibola. Okay, so my room, I was in a room, I led a room also. So I'm just going to allow Assurance. Assurance, please go ahead, tell us about the feedback from our room. Assurance, if you are here, can you please speak on behalf of our room? Assurance.
Okay, hi everyone.
Hi.
Okay, yeah. In our group, we had our lead our group. So we were able to share what we learned from the general group. Emmanuel was able to mention some sort of other things we could get to. So our group was fun. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So sorry I couldn't mention your name.
Not a problem. My name is Adebanke, by the way. My name is Adebanke. So that's not
okay, Adebanke. Okay, so.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for your time. It was amazing. I'm just trying to mute us all so that we can all hear ourselves. Okay, great. Now we can go at the session. So yes, please, let's all fill the feedback form. So please, before we go, we are also going to be taking a selfie. So please, if you can turn on your camera, please just get ready, turn on your camera. You don't need to wear your makeup and things like that. You're okay the way you are, you're beautiful the way you are. So please, let's just show our cameras so that we can all see each other one more time. Febishola, I would like to say a big thank you to you. Thank you very much for this. I really do appreciate this. Before we go, we'll just allow Onyikon to give us a closing remark. Onyikon, please go ahead with the closing remark for us. Thank you.
All right. Hi, everyone. Good evening. So just want to say a very big thank you to everyone that showed up for this session today. I mean, just from my breakout room and from the people that spoke, representing their breakout room, you can see that everyone really learned something. I mean, from the questions, I can see that it was an impactful session for everyone. I want to say thank you for showing up. We are Executives Initiative for the benefit of those who probably did not join from the beginning, right? We're an NGO and we are based in Lagos. And so this is just one of the things that we do to give back to society, to our volunteers and also to society. We do the free self-development sessions. And this is our last session for the year 2022. We've held 4 sessions so far, and this is the last one. So although we will have this again next year, we would have self-development sessions next year. So stay tuned to all our social media pages. Stay tuned to everything so that you are kept up to date, right? When we're going to have our next session and you get to know what we'll be talking about. Who knows? We may have another cybersecurity session again. So you really want to stay tuned. And then another major thing I would just like to let you know about is our charity series 2022. So the Executives Initiative, we have a charity series towards the end of the year. And so we have a community impact where we go to a community to help them provide the things that the community needs, right? And then we have the prison impact. So we go to the prison. This year, we're going to Kirikiri prison. And so we don't believe that because people are in prison, they have to be written off. No, they still have hope. Even if they're on life imprisonment, right? These are human beings. They may have done bad things, but they are still human beings and they deserve to be cared for. So we're going to Kirikiri prison. Then we have our fundraiser that is for sickle cell, for cancer and other related illnesses. So we try to raise money for these causes. And then the last thing that we have out of all these events, we have the Kick Against. So this year, our Kick Against is Kick Against Bad Governance. As we know, next year is election, right? So it's just basically to advocate, encourage people, get your PVC. Next year is election. You know, we believe that things can be better for our country, Nigeria. We believe that things will be better. All right, so I think I saw someone say something about how can we be part of this community. Great. So you can volunteer with us, right? I believe the link was shared for volunteers that want to join us, and we'll share it again. So you can volunteer with us. We're so glad to have had you here. Please don't forget to fill the feedback form. We'll send you the recording in the mail. I'm really, really, really happy that you guys joined today. Thank you for even staying to the end. Once again, my name is Oinka. I'm a volunteer with EI. I smile a lot, as you see. But yeah, thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you very much for emphasizing that part. My name is Oinka. I smile a lot. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Everybody, so it's time to take our pictures. So please, can we just get like smiling faces? Thank you. Smiling faces. Yes, smiling faces. Please hold on a minute. Not yet. All right. Please, we need more faces. Yes, you can see more. So we are taking pictures already. So please don't stop smiling. Don't stop smiling at all. It's the way you smile, that's why you appear in this picture. Picture is going to our social media. As you know, we are on YouTube already right now. So please maintain a good smile. Don't stop smiling.
The smile is finishing.
The smile cannot finish, must not finish. So please, thank you very much. Please renew the smile again. Renew the smile. Renew. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Okay. From Executive Open Initiative, we'd like to say a big thank you. Thank you for joining us. So we just quickly take our closing prayer. Of course, we started with prayer. And we'd like to just end the session also with prayer. So I'll be calling on Emmanuel Samson. Sorry, Ayola Akinwumi. I'm so sorry about that. Ayola Akinwumi will take our closing prayer for us. So Ayola, over to you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Adebanke. Can we all just take a second and as we pray? Our dear Father in heaven, we say thank you once again for the opportunity to see this. We magnify your name. Say blessed be thy name in the name of Jesus. Father, we pray today that everything that we have learned so far, that we will be given the grace and strength to execute this in reality in the mighty name of Jesus. We pray that we hope to see top cybersecurity tech guys from this particular event in the mighty name of Jesus. We pray that you continue to guide us even in this Nigeria, in this country, in the mighty name of Jesus. Thank you, Lord, for all you have done. Blessed be thy name, Lord.
Amen. So you can please connect with Febishola on LinkedIn. She's Febishola Olanifekun on LinkedIn. She's also on Twitter and Instagram. Febishola, her name is Febs _ on Twitter.
Yeah. That.
Hi, Febishola.
Hi, Assurance.
Good to see you again.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Shola.
All the best. All the best. Happy to answer your questions on LinkedIn. Please reach out to me.
I'm connected already.
Yeah.
You've not connected. Yeah,
I haven't got to LinkedIn. I've been here. Don't worry, I'll accept.
Hi, Fabisha.
All
Don't
right,
forget my slot.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Please, please. I'm still dreaming about it. Please, please don't let me down.
Ask Adebanke to give you my email, please.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Sorry, Adebanke, please. Okay, can I message
Just send me
you?
a DM here on LinkedIn. I mean, Zoom chat. I'm going to do that right away.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for
Bye,
the
guys. Thank you. Bye, Fabishola.
Bye, bye, guys.
You're
Bye.
free to go.
Bye.
So let me just quickly answer you, Faith, before we go. Oh. All right.
Okay, I didn't get the link to the for volunteers. Did you send it out?
We posted. Okay,
Yeah, that's a link tree. Let me just send it again.
Okay.
So once you click on the link tree, right, you'll see different links. I think when you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see volunteer with us, you'll see volunteer as a team lead. You can volunteer specifically for a project, right? So you can just choose out of all of them.
Right, Faith, I'm coming, please. I'll answer you right away. Is Faith still on this call? Where are you? Are you still here? Okay. Well, okay. Are you still here? I can't hear what you're saying, though. So was it Faith or Oluchi that requested for Fabishola's email address? I think it was Oluchi.
Sorry, it's Oluchi Diala.
All right.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So I sent to your chat right now. I sent you DM. Have you seen it?
Yes, I've seen it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for joining the session. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day. Oluchidiala, connect with Febi on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I will. I will. Thank you.
All right.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.